as the Findom turns, today is going to be a more rational and calm coverage of the Dolphins. I'm going to put the Fangio stuff mostly on the side. Got a little bit at the beginning I'm going to do for you. I want to apologize. Not really apologize, but just explain. I try to be a rational cover of the Dolphins. I try not to get too high, too low. I try to evaluate. But the nuclear explosion I put at the beginning of the podcast is what I felt when I looked at the comment. A guy said, well, Fangio might not be coming, and I read the article. It just rocketed me back into total fandom, and I was kind of walloped by it. I'd spent the whole prior day watching Fangio in 2020 to get a real good handle on what he was going to do, and I saw some stuff that I loved. And I was putting together the podcast just when I read that comment, and so I just erupted and, as they say, vomited on the page. So I just want to put that out there. I'm back to grounded and trying to cover it in a rational manner. I also want to apologize too. My goal is to be honest and to bring good information. I should have waited for the actual signing before I followed suit that he had been hired. And that got to me too. That got me angry because I questioned just about everything, and I just went along with it because it was confirmation bias. I wanted it to happen, and it looked, and it usually 99% is, but it isn't till it is. And I brought you guys bad information on that, and so I do apologize. But today I want to get into the cap. It's been, the cap number's been set. We know what we got, and there's a clear series of things that are going to be 100% accurate and clear for the 2023 season, and fans need to get onto that once you understand the cap. There's going to be some ambiguity in there, but there's some things that are absolutely clear. So I want to cover all of that. And before I do that, though, I want to do two things. First, I want to give this little bit over here, what we got from Peter King. He says this was just prior to one of those other tweets. It was around the same time, so I don't know the value of it. I'm just trying to put it out there. You can take it for what it is. Per NFL Network, Vic Fangio is due to take the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator post. I expect he'll make a big star out of a very good player, free safety Javon Holland. That's what I really wanted. One of the top playmaking safeties in football. So he's here. He's not here. There's clear ambiguity. He said nothing is decided on his end. So he might be here, he might not. I just wanted to put that out there. So before I get into the coverage of the cap, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. I appreciate everything you do. You've been putting up with me for 2 years. I'm very grateful. I want to give you a shout out. Shout out to AceBread, my sponsor, because without you, without them, this show ain't going down. AceBread's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so basically $225 million, chump change for all of us out there that are viewing here, just, pocket change, is the cap for this season. Now, I use Over the Cap. You should check them out. Great site. And what they say, according to their numbers, and they're very accurate, is their effective cap number at the moment right now is minus $22 million for Miami. Now, the effective cap number is figuring 51 players and the signing of the draft class. So at minus $22 million, Miami still has to add more players than that. The 51 accounts for like bare minimum. So you're getting bare minimum prices and bare minimum players in most regards. So it's going to get bumped up higher than that as far as the negative if they want to add past 51 players, which they're going to have to, and then also increase the quality of players by raising the pay. But that's where we currently are at, minus $22 million. It's minus 16, but when you factor in the addition to the 51 and the draft class. So the good news is the cap, dead cap space has finally been neutralized. Only more chump change, minus $1 million. So the future of the cap looks to be finally under control. We've been paying for the Van Noys and the Flowers and etc. Guys we let go and cut and all this other stuff. So at least in this regard, in next season going forward, if they maintain control of their cap, there won't be any high dead cap space. Some teams are paying $28 million. We were paying massive amount last. I can't remember what it was. It was a crazy amount. So that's the good news. Now, I had done, basically a strategic overview of the AFC East. I put numbers in there. They have changed. Players have been signed by different teams, and the cap numbers have been readjusted. So Miami is currently effective cap value at minus 22 with only 44 players signed. Bills are up to 52. They had 39, but they got up to 52, and they're at minus 22 for their effective cap value. Now, Jets, they got 53 guys signed. They're minus 6 for their effective cap value. And the Patriots, they've got 60 players, and they're plus 28 million. 32, and then the effective is 28. So, but they do have a solid group of free agents they might want to resign. Jacoby Myers is going to be expensive. So a big portion of that, if they resign, who knows? Bill might not resign him. He doesn't resign anybody. But he's had a real hard time finding receivers in the draft. So I got to expect they bring him back. I mean, I got to. I don't know. So, but he would take a big piece of that. But you could extend that out and bump it forward. So this is the year for Bill. Bill's had a couple good draft classes. He's got Bill O'Brien coming in, and he's got money. This is the year to find out if Bill is toast or not. Maybe this year and next year. But after that, if he hasn't found success again, it might be the descent. So that may be good news or bad news. I don't know how you want to take it. So for the Dolphins, we have, like I said, 44 players. There are some we can cut. Ethan Carter, who had a concussion. People talk about Tua. Where's Tua? Ethan Carter had one concussion, and he was done for the season. They put him on IR and never saw action again. Concussions is serious. I mean, people really got to understand what it means to have 3 major concussions. 2, 3, whatever you want to say in 3.5 months. Ethan Carter was shut down by like week 2 with the concussion. Never saw action again. 1. Okay, so you can get $2.3 million back for him with none lost, and that's clearly a guy you gotta let go. You got Hunter Long, you got Smythe, maybe you keep Smythe, you don't. You're going to have to pick up another tight end someplace. I don't understand. Gesicki's gone. You got Tanner Connor. So one more tight end or 2 tight ends is in this range. But for $2.3 million, I think you could do better than Ethan Carter because he hasn't done much since he's been here. Now, Baker, some people say we got to cut Baker. You would save 9 and lose 4, but the net on that is only plus 5. We're thin at this linebacker group. We only have a 2nd and 3rd round pick. We don't have lots of money. I think for the $5 million that you're going to get, I don't think you can cut him. I think it'd be crazy. It wouldn't be smart long term because I doubt you're going to get a guy that good at that price. I mean, maybe, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Then obviously Jones is the big guy, but he's not going to get you as much money as you might think. Now, you're going to save 13 and lose 5, but the net is 8. So if you get rid of Carter and you get rid of Byron Jones, you're at basically $10 million. So you're still at minus $12 million, and you lose 2 players, so you're at 42 players. So you got to sign all the way up to 53 for the active roster, plus the practice squad. And practice squad ain't too expensive, but maybe $1 million or $2 million. But still, to get to that 53 from 42, it's going to take a little bit of action, or you're going to be dealing with a lot of lesser players. So maybe, if you hit a really good draft class, trade back or something, I don't know. But still, it seems it's still a little stretch. So you're going to have to do more work. Now, I saw some people talking about Connor Williams. Now, he's 8.3 on the season. You could extend his contract and move that guaranteed money into the future where you're paying less and save a little bit of money there. I think he needs to be resigned. Dolphins struggle with offensive linemen, and you don't want to. This guy could have an epic season. He had a really good season, but what if he takes it to another level? What kind of money are you going to be paying? I think you got to pay him now, lock him in. We need some linemen for the future that are winners, and he's definitely one of them. And I do like him at center over guard, but I'll talk about that another day. Now, Noah, you ain't getting rid of him. he's too expensive. You save $500,000, you lose $3 million, so you lose $2.5 million. You get rid of Ethan Carter, and you can get rid of him, and you're at zero, and you probably find anybody to come. He can't even play special teams. But I think knowing Greer, knowing the 2.5 hit, I expect him to be on a roster again. I do. Sadly, I do. Hope the kid pans out. But so then Sealer's 3.25. This is a hard choice. He's going to be a free agent going into next season. So either you don't want what happened to Van Ginkel, and you don't want what happened to Gesicki. They walk for nothing. I mean, Sealer's a win. Even if he walks for nothing, it's a win. To get him where you got him and then not be able to pay him next year, you're still winning. But winning bigger is smart. Either sign a guy long-term, which I hope, him and Wilkins are unbelievable, or trade him and get something for him. But if you go in the middle and you go through the season and then he plays really well and he's up in the 20 million range, you can't sign 20 million to Wilkins and you can't sign, maybe 15 to 18 million for Sealer. It's just not going to happen. Along with 20-something to Chubb and then Phillips coming up. You still got Howard with his big price. I mean, you got to make a big decision here. And the Chubb kind of puts constrictions on Sealer. So either move him and get something or sign him long-term. Maybe you could free up a couple there. Now, Smythe, you could save about $2.5 million if you get rid of him. But that's going to, if you get rid of Carter and you get rid of him, you're going to down to Connor Tanner and Hunter Long. And Hunter Long's not good. He hasn't played well. He's been poor. And Connor Tanner is small. He's like just barely bigger than like a big receiver. So that would force you to get somebody in the draft, which maybe you can do. But in the second round, if you're going to get rid of Sealer, then you're going to want to find a DT in there. Or you're going to want to find a corner. Corners are hard, though. I mean, they develop slow. Tight ends, maybe. They develop slow, too. I don't know. Smythe, though, maybe just keep him and keep the pocket change. Then you got, after that, that's really it. There's really nobody else that you're going to be able to cut and make hay with. So, you're going to have Jackson start. He's going to have to start at right tackle. You can't afford to cut him. It's too much money. And you're not going to be able to replace him. Maybe you get a second-round pick. I don't see that happening. I don't see Greer doing that. And even if you do, second-round pick, how quickly does he develop? You got to, with that second and third, given how critical the season is, you have to find positions that can excel early, running back being one of them. And I think running back might be on the list because that's something you could bring in and have it be effective immediately. Now, Eichenberg, he's going to start next year. Eichenberg is starting at left guard, and Jackson is starting at right tackle. You can't afford anything else unless somehow you find some stud late in the draft or some crazy free agent, and we actually allow real competition. But they're going to be on the roster and most likely starting. Tyndale, he's got to play. I mean, Elandon Roberts, I'm back and forth. I love the way he plays. And in certain systems, he's really good to keep, but he's like $1 million. And he's going to be a spot player. If we move to a 4-3, you got to have your middle linebacker cover. He can't play weak. He can't play strong. If he plays 3-4, depending on the techniques the D-line runs, it's going to force him to attack, stack, and shed. And he's not able to do that. He's a shooter. You need if you're to play 4-3, you need 2-gap. And if you're playing 2-gap, then that's not really going to enhance your defensive line. And if he's not here, or is a minor role, Tyndale is going to have to come in and play well, and you're going to have to keep Baker, or you're starting totally from scratch. And I like Duke Riley. He's a good backup guy. You watch him play, you might not think he's the greatest thing sliced bread, but if you watch the film, he's pretty good. He can cover, he can chase, can't blitz, but he can attack, stack, and shed pretty good. So Duke, Baker, and Tyndale, and maybe another linebacker you pick up, but I don't know. But he's going to have to thrive. Connor Tanner, he's on your roster. He's a tight end. He's going to have to come up big. And Hunter Long's going to have to step up big. These guys are going to have to step up. Trill Williams is going to have to play. He's come back from that injury. They expected a lot from him. It's going to be hard to fill these spots. There's a lot of roster spots to fill. He's going to have to shine. Robert Jones, who you don't want him to start over Eichenberg, and he does struggle with your zone stretch, so that works that against some of the principles and concepts and philosophies of McDaniel. But he's going to be on the roster, and he's a good backup. You're going to have to depend on him. Izu Kanma, I guess I said it right. Easy. He's going to have to come up, and he's going to have to play. All these guys have to show something this year because receivers are a little difficult to develop. He's in his Easy's in his second year, and so on. He's expected. Linebacker, sometimes, even though there was about four linebackers taken, two before and after Tyndale that have actually had production, and there's some guys taken in the 5th and 6th round that had excellent production. So there's no excuse. This year, he's got to shine. Eichenberg and Jackson. Jackson's in his 4th year. Eichenberg's in his 3rd year. It's now or never. Okay? Trill Williams, you sign Nick Needham, maybe, for a lower, but I don't know. He might be a little, depends. He has the injury, and that's going to lower his value, so we might be able to bring him on a 1-year contract. Will he play for, I don't know. We'll see. But Trill Williams definitely have to step up. So after all these cuts that I'm talking about, you only got 3 guys who got big money that you can move to do heavy lifting to free up space. That's Tehran, who I love. But after all the injuries he's got this year, your body starts breaking down. You start getting all these injuries, you never go back to 100%. And he was breaking down this year all sorts of ways. So you got 21 invested in his contract this season. That's his weight against the cap. So do you extend it because next year you're free of him. Do you extend it to a 3rd year and split it up? You could do that and maybe free up, 7, 8, 10 million or something. Then you got Hill, $31.5 million this year. You're free of him in 24, 25, 24, but he's a guy you could definitely extend and pick up 10, 20 million easy. And then you got Chubb. You just signed a new contract, and you got about 69 in guarantees, but you could bump that maybe to another 20 in guarantees and push his contract back. But one of these 3 guys, if not 2, is going to have some kind of adjustments because there's really no other place that I see. I mean, you guys can look and let me know where you can get that money. So this is where we're at in the cap. Clearly, some of these guys that we don't want back, Eichenberg and Jackson and Noah, they're going to be back. You're not going to be able to sign Van Ginkel. You're not going to be bringing Gesicki back. We know that. And Tyndale is going to have to contribute. And it really puts, Mostert is kind of expensive. Wilson, you got Ahmed on the team. You'll probably keep him for cheap. And you get a running back in that 2nd or 3rd. Well, sometimes Greer does really good in the back end for the running back. So maybe that 5th round pick, I don't really like that so much because we need some running. We need to run the football this year. So that's the whole deal. It's a little sticky, but where there's adversity, I always believe there's opportunity. And these young guys stepping up could alter things dramatically. Will they? We'll see. But they're going to have to, guys. They're going to have to. There's going to not be a big free agent class. It's going to be a lot of cheap, late signings and free agents and undrafted free agents and rookies to fill out these spots. Because we need 22 just to get to 0. So anyway, that's where we're at. I think we can do it. I see plenty of ways where we can. But I don't know if we're going to make the right moves. But it will be interesting. Let's hope it starts with Fangio running the defense. And then we can worry about the rest. But this is Curtis saying thanks for staying to the end. Catch you next time. Be well. Go Phins. Reel in Fangio. Reel him in. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.